What up, y'all? DCFAYGOGUY. Today we are going to be taking a look at Ouija Macc's Dirtbag album. Dropped a year ago today, and this album marks the first Ouija Macc album that I listened to and liked. If you haven't heard this story before, I will retell it. I did an unboxing for this album last year when I picked it up. What had happened was I went to the Prom Night Massacre reunion show that ICP did. It was the second ever Monster Live or Ultra Live Monster 5 show, and at that show Ouija Macc of course opened. He pretty much, you can always expect Ouija Macc to be at an ICP show anymore. I don't know why they announced him as like a guest appearance, because he's kind of like a norm now. It kind of reminds me of back in the day when they would always have Twisted open for them, kind of like push him out there for the juggalos. But that tactic, it worked, because I watched Ouija Macc perform. I loved the energy he had. I mean, I had seen him perform before, but something must have worked out just right. That was the first show in almost 2 years that I had been to. Obviously, COVID fucked a lot of shit up. But I was really vibing with the energy that Ouija Macc had, and a lot of the songs that he was performing, they were actually off of Dirtbag. So I went and I checked the album out because it dropped that day, or the day before. I think it dropped the day of the show. So it was like the day, a couple days after that show had happened. Like, it just really resonated with me. And so I went and listened to the album, and I was like, I could fuck with this album. I could fuck with this album. So it ended up becoming the very first Ouija Macc album that I ever bought. And that was been pretty fucking monumental. I went forward to listen to other Ouija Macc albums. I could tolerate them more. Ouija Macc kind of fell into this. He's not my first pick of music, but I can now like fuck with his music a little bit more. I'm able to, it's still not quite my taste. It's not quite my cup of tea, but I'm building that tolerance to it to where I can listen to it and not be miserable. So let's jump into this. I do have the CD here. Like I said, it was the very first one I ever bought of Ouija Macc's. That cover right there, super fucking fire, by Tom Wood. And I guess there was some controversy with this album cover a little bit, of people thinking this was a dig at Jesus Christ. Obviously, he's, you know, hung up like he's crucified, and the album's called Dirtbag. I get why people could make that connection. Tom Wood would go on to defend Ouija Macc, stating that if he thought that this was any kind of, I'm paraphrasing here like a motherfucker, if Tom Wood basically said if he felt like it was a dig or a jab at Christianity or Jesus, then he wouldn't have, you know, he wouldn't have done it, because I'm guessing Tom Wood's Christian. So, but yeah, I thought the album cover was fucking dope. This is dope. I mean, Tom Wood always kills it with artwork. Even though he dissed me, I reached out to him. Or I didn't reach out to him, but I put a comment on one of his posts. It was after the Shaggy and Creep pal talk they did with Tom Wood, where they were saying they couldn't afford his artwork. I went and made a joke saying that depressed me, hearing that not even they could afford him. I meant it 100% jokingly. Tom Wood messaged me and said something about like, I don't remember exactly what he has said, but basically it said something along the lines of like, his artwork is quality, so, you know, it's going to cost a lot. So I just curiously asked him how much it would cost, because, you know, next year is 10 years I've been doing YouTube. I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to have some Tom Wood artwork. You know, I know Juggernaut had gotten an album cover by him before. I was like, surely if these guys scrounged up enough to afford some artwork, I could too, right? He didn't even fucking, he read the message and didn't respond. I'm like, oh, like jab right in the heart. Tom Wood saying I can't afford him. That hurt. That hurt bad. But, you know, it's all love. Tom Wood is the motherfucking shit regardless. So, you can't see it. It's not quite in frame. I'll just pan it up. You know, I have a little bit of his artwork there. Yeah, we'll pan it up. I like that a little bit better. Yeah, I like it a little bit higher anyway, so you can see the top of the shelf altogether. Now, we're going to pan it down a little bit. Now I feel like I'm like, ooh, okay, you can't see me. This review's all over the place. That's a little bit better. Maybe it's... helps if I put my seat up a little bit too. But anyway, Dirtbag, dope album, dope artwork. And I didn't silence my fucking phone. That sucks. This, like I said, this review is all over the goddamn place. I'm being a dirtbag. I absolutely love the artwork. Super duper dope. The thing about Ouija Macc I've come to really dislike, because I bought Fallen Angelic. If you haven't watched that review, you can go check it out. Cardboard sleeve. $20 for this. $20 for Fallen Angelic, and it's in a cardboard sleeve. That's no bueno for me. Like, why is this not in a case? $20? He couldn't at least put it in a jewel case? I hate that. Absolutely fucking hate that. So we'll pull the disc out. And, you know, you've got the same artwork on the disc. I already held up the fucking back, so flip it over to the back, which is really dope. It, like, full on this whole thing all the way through and through. I just really wish it came in a fucking CD case. It always bothers me. Give this a second to hopefully focus, where we'll go over the track list, which is Ain't No Savior.
Ain't no God above us, ain't no fucking savior. Hell no. Crank this shit the fuck up and say fuck the neighbors. Fuck the neighbors. Car bumping on the lawn like the neighbors gone.
Demon Seed.
Wait a few seconds and you'll feel claws inside your stomach moving. Would you make a fucking fallen angel? Bitch, I'm about to bang this shit falling on your brain like a tank shell. All your little pussy better be still before I put the Glock to your motherfucking ear.
Route 17 or Route or Route, however you want to say it.
I could crash this car. Let my soul just walk away. You gon' fuck around and bring the old me back. With a rain of bullets in your cul-de-sac.
Killing Spree.
Third kill, I know they're gonna remember me. I can't fight it, my destiny is a killing spree. Wearing nothing but my
Domino.
Do it again, domino. Hey, look at Luigi, he clocking his salary. Look at you counting your calories. He gon' do weekly, what you gon' do annually. You ain't gon' catch up like tomato allergy.
Nympho.
Slap it on me. Yeah. Hey, let's go. Grab on my dick and never let go. She say run like a bike, well that's a bet. Ho, put that back in the air just like an endo. But hold deep in a yeah.
Did it myself.
But then I call myself, cause you can tell I ain't picking up. Nah, call somebody else. I ain't got the answers. Find somebody else in a crowded room.
Walking what the fuck.
Walking what the fuck. Looking like a what the fuck. See me daylight. What the fuck. I'm
La Cienega.
if you really wanted this, whatever pussy motherfucker talking about the hatchet, you ain't ready for that motherfucker. Shop down. Hatchet to your knocking is exactly where you headed, sucker. Shop down.
Thuggalo Slide.
You run inside when we pull up. Gotta hit a shaking like an epileptic on that come up. Really with the shit, you know what?
Monster versus Man.
You don't know what really made the monster of me. See, it's a thin line between the monster and the man. It's a cold world. That's why this Glock is in my hand. It's a thin line.
Not enough.
Even if they did, that is not enough. There is no hope in this world for a juggalo. Everyone watching, enjoying me, suffer slow. Everyone
Die Like This.
die like this. Why like this? Die like this. I heard these busters looking for me, run they mouth hard, and they was cruising through my.
Understand Us.
They will never understand us. Swear these bitches, they will never know, cause they don't wanna know about a thuggalo. Ay.
I Don't Know.
Where shit going, baby, I don't know. Nothing's ever promised to a thuggalo. I'm just hollering at you, so you're not alone. I can
Awful.
bricks in the castle, I'ma build the shit to fuck. When you give your all to something, feels like you fall for something. Build up the walls, can't let none of these bitches crowd the fucking. But
And I'm Nowhere.
I know, I'm nowhere. Died last night in my sleep. Woke up with my baby next to me.
So, like I had said, first album that I listened to by Ouija Macc, that I enjoyed what I listened to. I enjoyed what I had heard. I did find that the best way I can listen to Ouija Macc is in the car. The days after the Prom Night Massacre show, I had a lot of driving to do. Where I live, I had to drive about an hour away from my job. This album was perfect to throw on there and then, you know, let it repeat on the drive back. Perfect album to listen to, and that was really what really got me into it, was being able to do that. There was a few times that I did listen to it, being honest. I got to about track 13, 14, basically right around Understand Us, and I felt my attention span slipping a little bit. I was ready to switch to something different. You know, like I said, Ouija Macc's not my first go-to listen when I wake up in the morning. It's not like the first thing that I want to go listen to. I have other music that pops into my head first. So, you know, naturally a few times that can tend to happen. I could be listening to Ouija Macc, and then, like, you know, something could pop in my head, or something he says could make me think of something else. And squirrel brain like a motherfucker squirrel, I'm on to the next thing. So that did happen a little bit when listening to Dirtbag and digesting it. That's kind of, I think, why my review didn't drop sooner than now. A lot of music came out around this time, around May, June. Fear Factor dropped a new album. I was, for whatever reason, I got into a Collective Soul kick and like went crazy listening to a bunch of Collective Soul as well. And then when Cabal dropped in July, like that was it. Like game over. Low key had my attention for the rest of the year. So standout tracks on this. It was a pretty good listen. Favorite tracks: Demon Seed, Ain't No Savior. I like Killing Spree, but I really love the skit at the end.
No, they're not here right now.
Okay, well, just go ahead.
Where are you, though?
Me?
What's your address?
Absolutely love that. Thought that was hilarious. You know, it gave me that clowny vibe that we're used to having from ICP and Twisted and the glory days of Psychopathic Records. That real fun shit. Domino was pretty good. I think I've given you guys 5 now. Like the first 5 tracks I just thought were great. Like the album just took off and had great momentum, and I was just like, fucking yeah, I dig this album. So yeah, Ain't No Savior, Demon Seed, Killing Spree, Domino. I got one more in there. I think Awful was pretty good too. But yeah. Like I said, first Ouija album that I listened to. I liked what I heard, and the first album I ever picked up. It dropped a year ago today. So if you guys have listened to Dirtbag, which I assume 99.9% of all juggalos have, maybe. There's still some people out there who can't quite fuck with Ouija. I was in that group for a long time as well. But if you have listened to this album, tell me down below what your favorite tracks are. If you don't care for this album, tell me why. Let's keep it peaceful, though, in the comments. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.